So this is the third Dragons film that there has been. Coincidentally, it's also the third time I have desperately tried to hold my emotions together during the film. Did I achieve it this time? No. No, I didn't. So the concluding part of a trilogy is always the trickiest thing to try and accomplish, particularly if you have had a lot of renown and good reception up to that point. So, with that in mind, can How to Train Your Dragon 3 stick the landing for this animated trilogy? Let's get into it! How to Train Your Dragon 3, The Hidden World, focuses on Hiccup now that he has taken over as chief of Berk and taken over from his father. And Berk is incredibly overpopulated at this point with dragons that they have now dedicated to rescuing from dragon trappers in the wild. Because of this overpopulation problem and because of the increasing amount of people that are dedicating their lives to hunting and killing dragons, Hiccup decides that they should go and look for the Hidden World, which is the birthplace of all dragons, the spiritual home of the dragon, if you will. And they have to do all of this before a particularly dangerous dragon hunter named Grimald tracks down Toothless and uses him for his own means. And also along the way, Toothless gets a girlfriend, which is, you know, that was bound to happen at some point, right? So the long and short of it is, I really love this series. I think that there has been something original and charming about this series right from the start. I really like the characters. I really like the voice cast. I really like the dedication to the new status quo that they have in each film. I really like the continuation between films as well. There's so much that this franchise is actually doing really right that people, I feel for the most part, really don't appreciate. The voice cast has been the same from all of the films, and it has been really, really solid voice casting. All of the characters have gradually got older throughout the films, and they've stuck with it. They haven't had it just like one after another after another. There's been a passage of time in between each film that they really stick to. And ultimately, there is just something wondrous and innovative about the animation and the style and the general story that How to Train Your Dragon has. In fact, one of the only problems I think I can really say about these films is the villains are not always that great. Grimald in this film is essentially pretty much the villains that we've seen in the other ones, or at least in How to Train Your Dragon 2, but he's a little bit smarter and can outwit people. So that is what makes him dangerous, because he's actually intelligent. Does that mean he's a bad villain? Not necessarily. Does it mean that it's a little bit cookie cutter? Probably. I would maybe say that How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World suffers from not having quite as dynamic a plot as the last couple of ones, but that is because in this one they are ramping up the emotional energy that you will be feeling and the connection that Hiccup and Toothless have, ultimately because of the fact that this is the concluding part of the trilogy. And yeah, that's a little bit of a payoff, but it does also work in its favour, really, because they're doing exactly what they set out to do. But ultimately, me being me, I am a sucker for closure. I really like it when everything kind of gets wrapped up in films. It doesn't leave anything too ambiguous for you at the end. Ultimately, what this film does is it ties off an ending to the franchise in a really, really nice way. And ultimately, I guess the word that I would use to describe How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World is satisfying. It's a really satisfying conclusion to a franchise that has performed really well until this point. It leaves you with this kind of satisfied, wholesome feeling that everything has been tied off nicely. And that was what I was really looking for out of this final installment. Was I an emotional wreck at the end of the film? Sure, of course I was. Isn't that right, Jedi Master Toothless? It will be okay. So with all of that in mind, How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World gets 4 stars from me. This is a really, really great animated film to start the year on. I feel that this final part has solidified this as maybe one of the best unsung trilogies of our modern time. This is a really, really great animated series. There's a lot of things that this film and this franchise are doing really, really right that I think some people should take notice of. So, How to Train Your Dragon 3: The Hidden World. Have you seen it? What did you think about it? Obviously, this is the concluding part, but would you watch more films like this? Do you want them to continue on a series that is maybe a prequel series to all of this? If so, what's your favourite dragon out of the series, other than the Night Fury, of course? Because they can also be Jedis as well. He's not just a Jedi, by the way. He is also Spider-Man and Captain America as well. Just a small fact for you, he likes to cosplay. All comments are welcome in the comment section below. Let's talk nerdy. As always, if you've enjoyed what you've seen here and you would like to see more, you can click right here to see some more funky, fresh videos from yours truly. And until that point, I'm going to go take some bit of time, sit in the corner, and what I like to call power cry.